This video is going to show you a max out artifact and the importance of doing this before Friday, and having a readout of the artifact mods, and also showing you tips and tricks on how to quickly get season pass ranks for XP and max out your artifact so that you have all mods unlocked possible. So let's talk about the XP requirements and quick ways of leveling XP wise on the short term side of things. So first and foremost, you need to get to at least rank 41/42-ish, and then you'll have all the mods unlocked. For those that didn't bounty prep, you're going to be well behind on the XP, and I said this last week, didn't I? For those that didn't hand in those 189 bounties, you're well behind, but there is a shining thing that you can do for people who are behind to maximize your XP boosts gains. That is before Friday. You can absolutely make the deadline before Friday. Even if you're limited on time, you will. Like I'm talking about a spare hour or two, then per day you can make massive gains. But you really need to dial it in. For those that haven't, for those that have done their bounties, obviously you go join on a friend. Make sure you get that Fire Team XP boost. I know it's only small gains, but when you're talking about small gains, 2% here, 2% there, it really adds up over the course of the amount of bounties and triumphs and all that stuff that you're handing in. So first and foremost, any bounties at all that you have, or triumphs, you go and join on somebody for Fire Team XP boost. You do that first. You make sure you've got Shared Wisdom procced by opening your character menu. You do that first, and then what you want to do is the second thing, so here's step 2 for XP, is you want to focus these. Now, if you want to play the longer game, you don't hand these in. However, what's the point in playing the longer game when Sundry Doctrines are going to be releasing on Friday? If you play the longer game and save these for next week, because then you get the XP well rested, you can get your well rested ranks quicker by handing these in next Tuesday. That's more XP overall, because you'll passively get XP anyways. But you want to play the short game, not the long game, because Sundry Doctrine launches Friday, so you just hand these in. You just hand them in. Week 2, week 3, week 4, you save your triumphs for the start of a reset. But week 1, the exception, you just hand them in. You want short-term gains, not long. You don't want to play the long game. You want to play the short game. So, Act 1, you do the quest. You do the Never quest. This, I done it in the Whisper mission and done it really quickly. It took me 20 minutes. In the Whisper mission, the Taken for All mission, if you saw my last video. You can do this. You can do this on the Dreadnought as well, and there's a boost there. The thing is, though, that means you're using a sword against Tormentors. Do you want to put on your team in Dreadnought activities by using a sword when you could be using a linear? So, be kind to LFG teams. Don't be using a damn sword against Tormentors. They're weak to crit damage. Get your sword stuff done outside of Dreadnought activities, in my opinion, because you're putting on teams by using a sword. You should be using linears, especially against Tormentors and stuff like that. Right, these 4 to 5 were all done through the quest. You'll just passively do these by just doing all the quests. PvP, this took me 2 to 3 games of arc damage kills. I recommend that you use the pulse rifle, which melts in PvP. It melts in PvE as well, but I got this really done with this trace rifle here, this primary ammo trace rifle. By the way, you want to do the PvP Triumph. I'm going to tell you why, because it's double. It's a plus. It gives loads of XP. So even though if you're a PvE main, it's still worth to do it. Hand all that in. You're going to struggle to do Pathfinder resets in 1 week, because you need to do roughly, it's 7%. I think it's 7% per reset. So I've done 3 Pathfinder resets. Now this is a triple bounty. I recommend that you probably, by the time you've done this, it'll be next week. Unless you really are farming Pathfinder, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, you need to do a lot of resets to do that. Try and finish a lot of XP. Once you've exhausted all of this, once you've exhausted all of that, you then want to do bounties. Now these are the particular bounties that you need to do. I'm going to go to my phone and I'm gonna try and get them. So you get your phone out, whether it be an iPhone or a damn Android phone. Let's hope it's an Android phone and not one of those stupid iPhones. And you need to pick up 5 gunsmith bounties. Follow the strategies. Is my phone gonna... Yeah, that's not the phone, that's server side. That taking ages. Right, 5 gunsmith bounties, right? You got it? Then you pick up 5 Cosmodrome repeatable bounties. Pick up the dailies as well if you haven't done the dailies for that day. But remember, dailies are not repeatable. That's why they're called dailies, because you can only do them once a day, once a reset. But repeatables can be repeated. So these 10 bounties, believe it or not, even though they're not a lot, they are going to give you maximum gains for when everything else is max. You've exhausted all XP gains everywhere else. Say you want to stay on that character. This is good for short-term XP boost. You'll get 5. 5 and 5. Count them up. That's 10, Guardian. Cosmodrome. Then you load up the Disgraced in a solo server. Disgraced in a solo server. If you're on PC, you need a script. If you're on Xbox, you do Xbox stuff to get the solo server. And on PS5, you just adjust your PlayStation native clock forward a year. So we're 2025, put it to 2026. Don't go behind, go forward. You need to put the clock forward. Then you go back into Destiny 2 and launch the Disgraced Strike. And you are going to farm all your bounties here because, look, Disgraced is on the Cosmodrome. You will complete all bounties, these 10 bounties, in approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Probably 10 minutes if you look working efficient. So, for example, linear fusion. There's a pattern, by the way, to bounties. Linear, machine gun, rocket, trace. So look, I've got all that covered. I've got a Dragon's Breath for rockets. I've got a trace. I've got a fusion rifle. I've got a linear fusion rifle. And so on and so forth. So you just quickly do that. Then you need to go to orbit, hand the bounties in. The reason why you go back to orbit is because you need to go back on your phone and accept the bounties, because you can't accept bounties from your phone while you're in a strike. The only downside to this is that you can't do Pathfinder in the Disgraced Strike. So here's the next tip. You need to do 3 resets minimum Pathfinders to get 3 pinnacle engrams. Once you've done 3 Pathfinder resets, you lose the pinnacles for the week, and that will not reset. And that is account wide, not character specific. That is account wide, not character specific. So you won't be able to do any more pinnacle Pathfinders till next Tuesday after your 3. But you can keep doing it, and you can use that same solo server in the Vanguard Ops playlist and just go in there and complete all of your Pathfinder stuff solo, because it's better to play solo than it is in a fire team, because you can hone in on everything. You need to pick a route on it. So for example, look, we've got strong final blows, powerful combatants, grenades. What we got here, we got a glaive, and then these 2 final ones just auto get completed after so long, depending on what they are. This one's strong final blows. This one here is just defeat enemies with power weapons, for example. But they're all really generic. Once you've done that many Pathfinder resets, you will then get it to the grips with the efficiency of Pathfinder XP farming. You get Challenger XP by doing all this, and you just reset over and over and over if you want to do it like that. Those are the 2 strats. What I will tell you is, as well, you don't have to do it solo server. You can do it in a fire team as well. Just not have a solo server and just load up and farm strikes. So if you want to just farm strikes all day, you can do that. I'm more of a fan on the other strat. I think what you should do is reset your 3 Pathfinders, right? Then stop farming Pathfinder, and then go and do Disgraced. Disgraced is a better strategy in my eyes, because I've done both today and I was getting quicker XP gains on Disgraced, because I can do the 10 bounties in 10 minutes. So it's 1 minute per bounty, and I think that's overall a little bit better to get the XP gains. Okay, so that you can quickly get there. Once you don't do that till you feel comfortable, like for now I'm going to stop on the XP farm a little bit, and then now I'm going to go back to doing some more pinnacles on my hunter and my warlock, and that's literally how you maximize short-term XP gains in a short amount of time. I hope you've listened to the video, because it's not just me saying we'll go and farm XP. No, I've told you very particular strategies of farming XP. And by the way, if you went to do never, right, from here, you're not going to get the XP gains you would hope of this. Like, you can be in the never all day. It takes 25 minutes per run. So say you've done, after 4 or 5 runs, you will never get nowhere near the same amount of XP as what you would in the Disgraced Strike. The Disgraced Strike on a solo server is king for quick amounts of XP gain. Like, I'm talking about, if you've got 1 spare hour tonight, you go and do the Disgraced on the 10 bounty farm. If you have completed the Pathfinder quests, you need to do free rotations, get your free rotations done, then do the Disgraced strategy, in my opinion. Right, that's it all done. Now we need to talk about the artifact. So here's the mods. Unstartable Fusion, which works for linears and normal fusion rifles. Overload Machine Gun, which is actually very good. Peace and Sidearms, which is rocket sidearms and primary sidearms. Anti-barrier Sniper, a fan favourite, very good modifier. Unstartable Glaive, finally, we got a damn glaive mod for GMs. Very, very, very good. Glaives are very, very good right now in the game. Alright, we've got Overclock and Load. While you are amplified or have bolt charge, arc weapons gain increased handling and reload speed. Kind of nice, not bad at all. Deep Alchemy. Weapons with the subjugation origin trait gain stability and reload speed for a short duration when hitting any target. These weapons are also overcharged when that modifier is active. It is our stock loadout for overcharge buff. So if you don't know what the overcharge buff is, let me quickly show you what it is. Come over to the little Nightfall. It's on about that mod right there. Remember, overcharge buff and surges do not stack together. They are 2 separate buffs. But if you hit one or the other, you'll get the buff. But they don't stack. Remember this. Okay, next one, Volatile Marksman, a fan favourite right now. Rapid Void Weapon, Precision Hits and Rapid Void Weapon Fire Blows grant volatile rounds. The boost volatile detonations grant class ability energy. By the way, I was using a damn Void bow before and I was getting volatile rounds off 2 crits on a bow. Right, everybody's using Graviton Lance as well because of this. Volatile Marksman's one of the best perks right now in the game. You get barrier rounds, right, off crits. This is going to make very interesting things going on in the game right now. Volatile Marksman's amazing. Legend Incarnate. Weapons with the Time Lost Magazine origin trait gain bonus damage. These weapons are also overcharged. The Volta Glass weapons, that is. Unraveling Orbs. Picking up an Orb of Power or a Tangle grants strand weapons unraveling rounds. Not bad. Not meta-defining, but not bad. I mean, if you're using, like, scintillation, you know, and stuff like that, that's not bad. Hold the line. While surrounding, machine guns and glaives gain increased reload speed and stability. Final blows heal you. Final blows heal you with a glaive. Final blows heal you with a machine gun. People are complaining about the Dreadnought not being able to stay alive. Hello, use this perk then. I guess you haven't leveled the artifact that far, but look at how good that one is. Dielectric. Defeating arc debuff targets grants bolt charge. That sounds good. Rapidly defeating arc debuff target spawns an orb of power and heals a small portion of health. Okay, that just looks good. When you ever run an arc build, you're going to have that on. King's Vestige. Defeating powerful Taken loads your weapon with Taken energy. The next time you fire, launch 3 Taken Seeker rounds that disrupt and exhaust targets. Notice it disrupts overload champions. Exhausted targets deal reduced damage, outgoing damage. So there's this new thing called exhaust. I'll explain it when we get to it. Disruptor Strike improves the effect of exhaust and sever, lowering a target's damage output even further. Exhausted targets deal reduced outgoing damage. So you're going to be tankier because you're disrupting all combatants in the game. So this exhausted mechanic, you need to look into it, and I'm going to explain it when I get to it again. Defeating an exhaust your server target with arc damage releases a blind and burst. You can blind targets like this, right? So that's the same thing. So look, it says exhaust there, sorry. Exhaust is applied by disrupting combatants or by weapons with the Psycho Hack or Subjugation origin traits. So Psycho Hack just got a major buff. And I will need to look into that. As in, it's the Witch Queen weapons, right? So there are some Witch Queen weapons that are good. They're outdated, though. That's the problem with the Psycho Hack weapons, is some of them are outdated with perks and stuff. But yeah, Psycho Hack is very good. Subjugation is the new origin trait. Right, move on. Dreadful Finisher. Defeating powerful combatants with your finisher spawn special ammo for you and your allies. Defeated subjugators, tormentors or champions spawn more ammo. We're getting special finisher for free, people. You can do special finisher builds right now in the game. You could anyways, but they're only but better now. Double special weapon loadouts are going to be a meta pick because of this alone. It does not require armor charges, noticed. It says defeating powerful combatants. That will include yellow bars, orange bars and champions. And tormentors and subjugators, as it says. That is going to be so good just because of it. Maligned Harvest. Rapidly applying volatile causes your next instance of void weapon damage to create a weaken and burst. That'll work well with volatile marksmen. Henceforth, that's why everybody's using things like Telesto and they're using Graviton Lance as well because of this. Flashover. When you gain maximum bolt charge, you also become amplified. Lightning bolts deal more damage. We're in an amplified meta right now. Any chances to get an amplified more is always beneficial. Horde Shuttle. Damage and unravel targets with a weapon. Occasionally spawns a Fredling. Not bad, not bad. I mean, it's alright. It's alright. That's all it is. It's okay. Unless you really are rocking all strand. You know, if you're not, then maybe not use it. No Bell. Rapid glaive melee fire blows grant special ammo glaives. Additional ammo. Block and damage with glaives increases their melee damage to targets. Whenever you've got a glaive on, which I have not got one on right now, but if you do, you have this equipped. Remember, you can't equip all these mods. You've got to make a decision. It depends on your build. But I'll come on to that in a minute. Particle Reconstruction. Dealing sustained damage with fusion rifles or linear fusion rifles partially refills the magazine from reserves and grants them bonus damage for a short duration against the target. So, this is going to be a meta pick already. Because of the nerf to heavy GLs, drum GLs, 10%, you're more likely to use a heavier linear in your weapon. When I've been using Particle Reconstruction today, I've been putting out a lot of damage. I've noticed it. Scintillation, Chill Clip Riptide has been melting. You know, that's what I've been using, people. I haven't been using Deliverance. I've been using all this time been using Chill Clip, and I've been finding it's very good. Even though it doesn't freeze in 3 shots, it doesn't matter. It's just that good in the game right now, because freeze is not the only metric that you need. The other metric is slow and freeze. Riptide slows quicker than any other Chill Clip fusion. It slows quicker. Freeze is slower, but it doesn't matter because it's a rapid fire frame fusion, and they are the favourable fusions in the game. What I have also been using is Oven Drill as well. I've actually quite liked this fusion, and it's not as good as Riptide, but it has been doing some nice things for me. There are many fusions, and I've advised you about the fusions and what you can do, you know, etc. Like 1K Voices, that's doing some interesting things. Sleeper Simulant and all this stuff. Right, let's move on. Elemental Supercharger. Defeating exhausted or severed targets with weapons that match your super element grants super energy. That sounds good, but you're getting plenty of super anyways. So I don't foresee that being a pick. You can only pick 2 mods in the final column. I don't recommend that. Heavy Ordnance Regeneration. Dealing sustained damage to targets with a heavy machine gun or rocket launcher grants damage resistance and increases grenade and melee regeneration for a short duration. That sounds really OP. So I wonder what that's going to be like with Xenophage or Grand Overture or, you know, or Dragon's Breath. I don't know. I haven't even tried this mod yet, but it sounds OP. Defibrillating Blast. Stunning a champion grants maximum stacks of bolt charge. Triggers an arc bolt that heals you and jolts combatants that it damages. So that sounds insane. So when we're doing GMs, you're going to have this on. You're going to equip that. You're more than likely going to equip this because you are always stunning a champion. And lastly, Void Flux. Defeating weakened targets with a void weapon applies volatile to nearby targets. Powerful targets increase the radius of the explosion. If you're using Graviton Lance or if you're using Telesto, you're going to put on Void Flux, Maligned Harvest, and Volatile Marksman. If you're using a glaive build, you're going to use Nobel. So, remember, you need to keep respecing your artifact mods depending on your build. So whenever you see me with artifact mods on, and you're like, why are you using those? Well, maybe because I'm not using them and I'm about to respec the damn artifact. This needs to be respected and micromanaged depending on what build you are. So every time you equip a new build, you need to review your artifact very carefully and cleverly. Make sure that it matches the build that you are on. So for example, I'm not using Nobel because I wasn't using a glaive today, but I might end up using a glaive in a minute. So when I do, I go right, boom, get off there, get it out, boom, come back to me, Nobel. There you go. See what I'm saying? So you need to micromanage all of this. Just because I've got this stuff on right now doesn't mean might not respec it. So there's also this as well I want to mention lastly. So the tomb engravings, this is how you get the boosts. So King Vestige, defeating a volatile target grants class ability energy. Dielectric, I think I've read some of these out, but I'll read them again. Arc debuff, rapid fire blow, spawn an orb of power, and return a small portion of health. Engraven Maligned, harvest, weaken targets to receive a small overshield. Defeating powerful combatants disorients nearby rank and foul combatants, War Priest's Might. Unravel and Weave, strand weapons deal increased damage to strand debuff targets. Elemental pickups grant matching super energy when collected. Twisted Horde, dealing damage generates multiple threadlings. Unraveling, and then finally to shreds, unraveling projectiles deals increased damage, especially to severed targets. Look, people, the last final thing I will say is that these are the best mods that we have had since the final ship. They are superior to all other mods that we have had. There is now more build crafting options right now in one single day than what there was in Revenant. Revenant was a really bad time in the game. Right now the game's going to pick up. The Never is a good little activity. It's not just little though, is it? It's fantastic. It's the best activity that we've had in the final shape era. You need to get on and play. There are some bugs with the Never and that with the health regen, as in like Heal Clip doesn't work properly and things like that. But some things do work properly. Crimson works. Red Death works a little bit. So there are options for you to get health back. And Titans are very OP in the Never. I haven't played the Warlock or Hunter in the Never yet, but Titans are really reckoning this. And that's one last thing as well I will say is Consecration Titan's not going anywhere. It's still meta, people. It's still meta. It's basically still meta. I could dedicate a video only just to this, but I haven't used it. It's putting out enough damage that you will still use it in Grandmasters and you will still use it in Endgame. It is noticeable the amount of less damage it's doing, but only a little bit. It's only slightly noticeable. Look, Prismatic still has Transcendence, and Arc does not have Transcendence. Solar doesn't have Transcendence. None of this stuff has Transcendence. So because of Transcendence alone, it's making it still better than the other choices. I have yet to explore too many Arc Striker Titan builds, but overall, Prismatic is probably still stronger, at least on a Titan. I don't know what it is for the Warlock and the Hunter. I just thought I'd give you those last couple of thoughts. Again, and that's it. That's basically it. Remember, expect more Pinnacles for Friday. So you should, I don't know if Trials is this Friday, but if it is, that'll be a Pinnacle drop, and Sundry Doctrine will be a Pinnacle drop. I don't know if Trials is this weekend. That's not something I've kept an eye on. But if Trials is this weekend, there will be extra Pinnacles on Friday. So remember that as well. That was the video on this. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.